You never had two boyfriends out there? Even she?
Believe it or not, no. She used to go to the park and like whoop these dudes' butts.
Oh my gosh. Dude. Hi everyone, I'm Wang. Welcome back to Spill the Boba Tea, a show where I invite special guests over to BOPOMOFO Cafe after hours to make a special drink that's based on their life and career. Today we have a rising star who most recently can be seen on Netflix's hit show Never Have I Ever. Please welcome to the show, Suri.
Hi.
I'm so happy to have you here.
Happy to be here.
Have you seen any of the shows like before? Did you do a little homework?
Yes, I watched both of them, and I don't know why I'm here now.
Are you kidding me?
Ross, Margaret Cho,
Suri.
Okay.
Well, the main thing is we wanted you to come because you love Boba, I'm sure, right?
I love Boba, so I'm very excited to be here.
All right. So we're gonna make a drink that's based on your life and career. I did a little bit of research, but first of all, I guess let's just talk about like where you grew up.
Yeah.
You are a Los Angeles native.
Yeah,
right?
Sort of.
Sort of, and that's because you actually grew up in
Downey.
All right, let everyone know where Downey is, what Downey is about. Put Downey on the map right now.
Okay, I'm so glad that I'm doing this actually because I always say Downey is one of those cities that you either know or have absolutely no idea. So I'm about to change the culture.
Yes.
The best way to describe it is I always just use Long Beach as a point of reference. Or think like Norwalk.
Okay.
But shout out to Downey. Thank you for brazen me.
You had a very interesting life there because your parents owned a restaurant out there.
Yeah, so my parents actually owned a restaurant in Norwalk.
Yeah.
Which is not too far from Downey. And they owned a Mexican restaurant, which was...
A Mexican restaurant?
Yeah.
In Downey.
Not what you probably saw coming.
Is there a reason why they chose Mexican food versus another cuisine?
Yeah, so originally the restaurant actually was an Indian restaurant, but...
Whoa.
I know. So from what I understand, since I was quite young when they purchased that ginormous place, was that Norwalk is super close to Artesia, and if you don't know what Artesia is, I can put that on the map. That is Little India here in LA.
Artesia.
Okay, so that was too close to Artesia, and there was just too much competition. So my parents were like, let's think outside of the box.
So they were like, we have an Indian restaurant. This is too easy.
Or just like, we don't want the competition.
Okay.
Let's just bang out some Mexican
And
food.
there wasn't, wait, but this is also Los Angeles where there's also a lot of
Exactly.
Mexican
They didn't think
food.
it through. They didn't think it through clearly.
What was the Mexican restaurant called?
It was actually, so my dad's idea to call after my mom, we called it Sarah's Mexican Bar and Grill.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
That's so cute. He named it after...
Kind of.
That's
yeah,
really endearing, actually.
Yeah, it's super endearing.
So you are an Indian family growing up in Downey, but running a Mexican restaurant.
I mean...
That is a Netflix show right there.
I mean, let's make it happen, guys.
So our first ingredient is actually inspired by your Mexican restaurant.
Ooh,
because here we have...
Is that horchata?
Very good, actually. This is homemade horchata.
I need to learn how to make that.
Rice milk, evaporated milk, some almonds, and cinnamon.
Yes, I'm so excited about this.
Did you serve this in the restaurant?
Of course. You have to.
All right, so what we're gonna do right now first is we're actually gonna pour the horchata inside the cup.
Let's do it.
This is interactive.
Oh, yeah.
But you just want to drink this?
I was just about to say, I was like, can we just
you gotta wait, we're
add
making
it
the
in,
creation
special
here,
effects?
Right? So we're putting 2 ounces of horchata. So now we have Downey in a cup. But even though you grew up in Downey, you didn't actually grow up in Downey. You actually moved back to India for several years.
Yeah, so I was born and raised for the most part in Downey. In fact, we moved to Downey right when I was born. But then when my parents bought the restaurant, they didn't really understand how difficult running a restaurant business can be, and just
Trust
the challenge. Right.
Trust me. I should talk to your parents right now.
So yeah, no, exactly. It just sort of went over their head a little bit, and as a result, my dad had to make the even more difficult executive decision to send my sister and my younger brother to India to live with our relatives over there while they tried and sorted out this situation. So I lived in India for 2.5 years when I was about 5.5 years old, I'd say. So most of my life was pretty much revolved around schooling, and then tuition is what we called it. But I have some pretty solid memories that I think.
That's
I'm really
amazing.
grateful
Well,
for.
I mean, your time and your heritage is the inspiration for our next ingredient.
Oh.
Because right here, what we have Actually, once you smell it, I think you'll be able to know.
This, like right off the bat, this looks like pani puri juice, and if that's the case, that's gonna be so interesting.
It's not that, but this is actually chai.
Oh, let's go.
So I'm just thinking, you know.
Also, can I just really quickly say, I so appreciate the fact that you didn't say chai tea, and you said chai.
Guys, come
chai
on.
in Hindi means tea. So you're just saying tea. Chai, for the culture, Philip Wang,
This is so
my
important.
man.
Yes, I appreciate that you noticed that, because I'll admit I learned that too at some point like years ago, and I was like, this is really dumb that people, that someone else hasn't corrected Starbucks or hasn't corrected any number of places that do this.
We just gave up.
Tea, the way they do it there, or chai I should say, is not just normal tea. They put cloves in there, cinnamon, ground garlic, there's pepper in here. Very aromatic, very strong, but delicious as well. Do you remember drinking chai?
I do. I remember drinking cha. I feel like, oh, this is the Punjabi part of me that comes out. We say cha or chai.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Then
no,
let me say...
no, because you're saying it correctly. In Hindi, you would say chai,
Okay.
and then in Punjabi, you would say cha. Like,
Okay.
it's just...
And the Punjab region is northern, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what city did you actually like live in while you were there?
I lived in Jalandhar. It's a smaller town, and that's where I grew up.
You spent a good amount of your childhood, you know, not in America, but living in, I guess, essentially like a foreign country to you too at that time. Did you realize that you were like going somewhere else, living in another country?
I think I was at a really young age,
Yeah.
and just like children, they're creatures of being able to adapt,
Yeah.
and so I don't think it really hit probably as hard as it hit my sister, who's 5 years older than myself. So she was just budding into her sort of adolescent years. So I think for me, it was just like, okay, I don't really understand what's going on, but vibes.
Yeah, vibes. How would you say that your Indian heritage and you know, your culture like affected how you were growing up as a kid?
Yeah, I would say that I think it just became so apparent that that's who I was, that I never felt the need to sort of overcompensate for it.
Yeah.
I didn't feel the need to, you know, walk out in a sari or like just showcase that part of me, because it was already so much of who I was. I grew up watching Bollywood movies. My parents, especially when I went to India, I learned how to speak in Hindi and Punjabi. So that became a part of me that I think, as most first-generation immigrants, not every first-generation child really gets to have that experience.
Yeah.
So I almost felt like a hybrid of being able to relate to being, you know, from the motherland in a way, but then also not feeling as Americanized either. It was this weird middle, but
It's that in between that a lot of like the, I guess like, you know, first generation kids experience.
yeah, absolutely. So it was definitely like who I was, but I never felt like I needed to showcase it in a light that felt very much so like I am Indian, or you know what I mean?
You're just comfortable in your skin.
Absolutely, yeah. It was
see what
just
you're
who I
saying.
was.
All right, so what we're gonna do with the chai is we're gonna pour 300 cc's into this cup. So right
Getting
now, as you can
medical here.
see, we're already kind of like just under the 100. I probably did this backwards, but we're just under the 100. So we're gonna go under the 400. So I'll show you first, okay? We're mixing horchata and chai right now. All right, so I just hope that what we're doing right now, like people in the comments are like, I can't believe you would mix horchata and chai. One side's gonna be like, how dare you put that into horchata?
This is my
And the other's
life
like,
and career, guys.
Exactly. This is you in a
horchata
cup.
and chai.
This is what you grew up drinking.
Yes.
All right, so now that we have a little bit more of Megan in a cup, normally we serve all of our drinks in a BOPOMOFO, just plastic cup.
Okay.
But you know, you're special. This is a special episode. So you are a basketball fan. And you told me that you're actually a very big Greg Popovich fan.
Yes. It's one of the greatest, man.
One of the greatest.
Let's get real.
The Spurs head coach, if you didn't know, is also a wine enthusiast.
I would not be surprised. The man is class all
So
around.
for the first time ever, we're going to be drinking our boba out of a wine glass.
Pops, this one's for you, man.
It's a little bit of a stretch, but you know what? This is what we do to keep things interesting. How did you get into like basketball? Like, why are you such a big fan of basketball?
So you're actually looking at the 5th grade Carnival of Champions Baskets in a Minute champion.
Can I know what that number actually is?
Yeah, so I did it 4th grade and didn't win. Came back with vengeance.
Okay.
Decided I had perseverance, right? I believe it was like 30?
30?
Which for 5th grade, guys.
Wait, that's incredible.
Yeah, it was like all the 4 schools in our district, they all competed. And so in 5th grade, I just tried out for Baskets in a Minute.
Wait, this is on a real, for some reason I was just thinking like at a carnival game, but this is an actual
No, this was like a
basketball game.
real thing.
Oh my
we
gosh.
had the uniforms.
Okay.
It was like a real thing. It was
Right,
probably
you're a baller.
it was my first experience being like an actual athlete. It was, and that went into my freshman year of high school.
Okay.
Made JV.
Wow.
First try, let's go.
That's really impressive. Actually.
Thank you. And
What position did you play?
So I sort of switched. I played the post sometimes. I know that's probably hard to believe, but I got hops.
No, and also you're pretty tall.
Yeah. Well, it's the heels, but I'm 5'5". I'm pretty average. I'm pretty average. But I also played a small forward, so I had a little bit of shot. But my forte was definitely defense, which is to my point with the Spurs. I fell in love with that team, especially during the Tony Parker Ginobili era. That's when Kawhi Leonard was just a great defensive player and not. Yep. So that's my basketball journey.
Wow. Were your parents into it as well, or your siblings, or did you ever like play like with your family, or was it
so
just
both of my parents are actually they were athletes. My dad was. I know.
Your family is so interesting. Like,
we are the complete antithesis to what I believe people perceive Indian families to be.
I was gonna say, I was like, wait, where's the doctor? Where's the engineer?
That's my dad's older brother.
Okay.
My dad was the athlete. He was actually a professional cricket player.
Okay, that's where the
It's a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go. A little stereotypical. And my mom, this is a true story. She probably could have been a real tennis star, but the only thing that stopped her from pursuing tennis in a real way, even though her high school coach begged her, is that she was too embarrassed to wear skirts.
No.
That's like the true story.
Wait, is that related to like Indian culture?
A little bit. A little bit came from the fact that my grandparents on my mom's side, they were definitely the very strict family, and that's where a lot of her liberal ways of thinking came in raising us.
I see.
But she also used to weightlift with her cousins, and she had very powerful, strong thighs. And back then in the day, that wasn't a thing.
Right.
So
especially in like Asian culture.
Exactly. So I think that my mom just was embarrassed and like that's not normal, but it is, Mom, for tennis players.
Like, is your mom still playing tennis still for fun?
She wishes that she never stopped, but she ended up tearing her ACL when she used to go to the park and like whoop these dudes' butts. That she had street credit for sure.
And is your dad still playing cricket? Are there like cricket leagues that we don't know about?
No, but you know what? Let's never say no. My dad's whole thing is never say never.
All right. So the next step in the drink is we're gonna add some sugar. We're gonna sweeten this up with some brown sugar syrup.
Is that because I'm brown?
It's because you're sweet.
Aww.
That's why. Brown sugar for the brown girl magic happening right now.
Yes.
All right, so we're gonna do 1.5 ounces of brown sugar, which is basically right up to the very top. All right. Easy.
I feel like I'm a bartender.
Easy. Yeah, dude. Skills. You got it. We're gonna put some ice into the shaker. All right. I'm gonna put this on. All right, so we're just gonna.
I know that I've seen this in movies.
This you got. This you got. Give it a little shake. Super cool, dude. This is the power of movies.
Sarah's Mexican Bar and Grill.
Before we pour this into the wine glass, we gotta add some boba.
I love boba.
When was the last time you had boba?
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute? All right, well, I'm so glad that we're doing this so that we could feed that need.
I kind of want it all.
Go for it.
Okay, great.
Dude, yeah, I mean, if it's been a while.
Also, like, it's boba. You know, if you're gonna have boba, you have to
go
all out.
We're gonna do the whole thing
Let's
too.
go.
All right. So let's put some ice in the cup, just a little bit. Just a little bit.
This is exciting.
All right. So let's pour it in.
Yeah.
It's gonna go right in. Not bad. The next step we have here is this guy. You know what this is?
I think so. I don't know the name of that, but I think I know what's inside.
What's inside?
Is it whipped cream?
It is whipped cream. Now, the reason why we have some whipped cream is because one of your first big breaks into Hollywood was in a movie called Valentine's Day. Before we do the whipped cream, I want to ask, like, what made you want to get into acting in the first place? I mean, to go into acting as an Indian American woman, that's a big decision, right? And how did that happen?
It's such an nod to my parents for sure. It started with me literally performing at my 3rd grade talent show. Just you were
busy in elementary school.
It's just gone downhill at this point. You know what I mean?
Talent show, basketball. Dude.
I was exploring, which is important. Explore life.
So you were at a talent show?
Yeah, so I danced to this Bollywood song, and my dad obviously came out to watch, and just being the go-getter, amazing dad that he is, he decided to sign me up to audition for acting class like a week later. And at the time, I mean, the idea of being an actor was not something that I ever realized as being reality. Just I'd see a lot of people that looked like myself on TV, so that was just more so something I did for fun, you know.
Right.
And my dad sort of was like, no, let's do this, you know. So I auditioned for acting school. About a week later, got in. Luckily, don't know how. I messed up my entire audition, and within a year, I got Valentine's Day.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's such a, like, you must be really good, just like basketball, I guess. I mean, well, I was gonna say, like, do you feel like Bollywood in general is kind of like what made your dad feel like he could see a future for you in entertainment as well?
That's a good question. I don't think I've ever thought of it that way. I think my dad has always sort of stressed the importance of not putting limitations on yourself and, you know, believing in yourself and going after what you want. That's how he became a cricket player, was his dad and his parents were so supportive, and so he wanted to extend that further for his kids, for whatever they wanted to do. He never wanted to put us in a box. He never wanted to force us to do anything that we weren't passionate about. So in that respect, I truly have like the dopest and the best parents.
Good Indian father. All right, so have you ever used one of these?
I've not.
Okay, the first thing you gotta do is you gotta shake it up. You gotta shake it up upside down.
Okay.
I kind of want you to go first.
All right.
Let's see how it goes.
It explodes.
So this is the trigger.
Okay.
Okay. That's probably not the right word for it, but you're gonna squeeze this very slightly. This is an air canister right here.
Yeah.
So there's cream in here. The air comes in. It comes out as.
Okay. So I just.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
That was cool.
Do you want to try making like a little design? Go in a circle.
Okay.
Let's try that. Oh snap!
Does that a lot? Is that a lot?
That's a lot of whipped cream. All right,
I'm lactose intolerant. This is gonna be hard tonight. Come on, creativity. Oh, he's got the elbow. He's putting the elbow in it.
All right. Hey, this is looking like something. All right, we are at our final ingredients, and you know what? Before we do that, I want to give you a little gift. Got some Ferrero Rochers.
Wow. Thank you.
I saw what you did in Never Have I Ever, episode 4, and I just was like, you know what? You are such a good Indian guest, Indian child bringing gifts. So yes, we have some Ferrero Rocher that is crumbled up.
I've never seen this in my life.
And then we have some hazelnut that we're going to drizzle over the top, and we're gonna basically top it off with some Ferrero Rocher.
You just
Save the best for last.
Okay, that saying was meant for this moment.
Before we get into the Ferrero Rocher, I gotta ask. I mean, Never Have I Ever, hit show, first season is amazing. You coming on in the second season. How does it feel to be joining this incredible show, and also knowing that what it means to so many like South Asian American girls out there?
It's been so beautiful to see how well people received the second season, and how they've welcomed Anissa, and just reading these stories and these DMs and comments that I've received from fans has been incredible. And also just playing a character like Anissa, who isn't like anyone that I've played before, and has a deeper story, has deeper complexities. That to me is where I feel like, okay, I'm now starting to delve into work that is bigger than just, you know, me being on camera. You know, you do realize that you're impacting people on a different level, and I think that's what's the coolest part of my job now.
Yeah, and you've definitely had these great opportunities to represent this, you know, age group, this community, and I think that's really, really incredible. And I guess, like, how do you feel like moving forward with like this, I guess, like, I mean, not that you are like that this identity is new to you, obviously, but I think that this responsibility might be, you know, feeling a little different these days.
Yeah, I think just now with, you know, just even people sort of like recognizing me in public, being like, you're the girl from Never Ever. I'm like, oh yeah, and
it's weird.
But it you know, you start to, and it's also been so beautiful because it's been people from the Asian American community, from the Indian, from the brown community. So that's been really cool. But in terms of representing people that look like myself, I just hope that we see more and more of it. So, you know, the more and more that we see of it, the more we normalize it, and the more it becomes less about putting ourselves in a box and more so just reflecting the realities of a global world.
Oh man, that was so well said.
Thank you. I'm sweating now.
No, that was
I had to
great.
really think about that.
Well, I was also gonna say, because like, I mean, I read that you actually feel like you relate more to Davy's character, and why is that?
Because I'm just awkward, and I was really like, I never, I definitely had a hard time with the boys department, still do. Let's go. No, but I definitely related to Davy's sort of insecure, awkward.
You never had two boyfriends out there? Even she?
Believe it or not, no. So definitely, I related to sort of that weird, awkward kid. But I also overcompensated it with, if you ask people from like knew me in high school, they'd probably be like, no, she's more like Anissa, but it's because I overcompensated, like extrovertly. I mean, on the external side, I was like Anissa, you know, on the basketball team, and like I'm cool, guys. But inside, I was very much so a little
layered. Yeah, there's always another story going on.
Yeah, that's kind of the theme of season 2 in a way.
Yes, absolutely. But Anissa is very cool, and it's good to see like a spectrum of characters, right? Of like a lot of times I think when there's like one single Indian character, everyone's like, oh, like it has to be relatable to like everyone, but you can't get everyone, right? So having Anissa there kind of opens it up to a different type.
Yeah, it's not a monolithic experience.
Exactly. All right, I know you're eyeing the FERRERO. You're like, Phil, can you stop talking? All right, go ahead and drizzle as you like.
Okay, so when I used to pour syrup in my pancakes, I would always just do my initial.
Okay. Ooh.
That's terrible.
That's pretty good.
This is like the best part of the FERRERO Rochers.
There you go. I'm not even gonna be cute about this.
You can't.
Oh, actually, this kind of looks cool.
Yeah.
Go ahead and take a little bit, and you can just sprinkle on top.
Yeah.
You can also sprinkle some in your mouth.
You only gotta tell me twice.
Megan, we have reached the end. Look at this amazing creation we have here. We're drinking boba out of a wine glass, guys.
Who's done it like this before?
Are you ready to try this?
I'm so ready to try this.
Wait, before we try it, we have to name this. Ooh, I got one. The Horchata.
Come on, creativity.
I think we should go with Horchata.
Horchata.
Horchata. Or it should be Horchata.
Yes, you gotta say it right. It's horchata.
Horchata. But then we have to say the chai correctly too. So it's gotta be.
But technically, if we do the Punjabi way, it could just be horchata.
Oh my gosh, dude! We are international, multicultural
we are
here.
Changing the game.
Look at us right now. This is a cultural moment right now. You know, we're gonna put a boba straw in a wine glass, guys. All right. So oh my gosh, look at this, guys.
So aesthetic.
This is all right. Here we go. Let's see what the horchata actually tastes like. All right, ready?
That's really good.
That's kind of nice.
I'd actually buy this.
I think it's because the cinnamon is like, it's like a Venn diagram. That cinnamon kind of brings it all together.
It is, because it's in both.
Wow.
This is really good.
Megan, I think we might have to put this on our actual menu.
I honestly was thinking that, but I was like, I don't know if I should get that.
The two other drinks that we had, for sure not gonna be on the menu. This might actually be like a drink that is like working.
I think I would buy this, like I said.
Well, Megan, I'm so glad that we could hang out tonight, make and invent the horchata.
Greatest drink of all time.
Horchata,
it's gonna be a bestseller.
Megan, congratulations on everything going on. Very excited to see where your career goes and continues evolving. And yeah, this has been a lot of fun.
Thank you so much, Philip.
Cheers.
I really appreciate it. Cheers.
Pinkies up, right?
Pinkies up? Oh, yes.
Pinkies up.
Would Pops want us to do it that way? I don't think so.
That's true.
He's a down-to-earth guy.
That's true. Everyone, be sure to check out Megan right now on Never Have I Ever, streaming on Netflix. It's an amazing show. It's hilarious. And Megan is so funny in it. And you guys gotta check it out right now. Congrats, Megan.
Thank you, Philip.